Hi, my name is Sarah Novick. I'm the JUFJ DC Senior Organizer, and I'm honored to introduce you to the DC Initiative on Racial Equity, one of this year's Heschel Vision awardees. The DC Initiative has woven together a broad set of partners and institutions to push the DC government to support all residents and ensure everyone, regardless of race, has better opportunities for health, happiness, and prosperity. What's special about the initiative is the way that it educates and advocates through taking time for members and supporters to see and get to know each other as human beings, through community building, doing anti-racist education, and pushing for policy solutions that can break down barriers instead of perpetuating disparities. Deshaw Hockett and Alicia Wilson, the co-facilitators of the initiative, will be accepting the award on behalf of the coalition. Alicia and Deshaw's steadfast commitment to the project has been humbling, and so much of our successes are directly connected to their vision and determination. If what we're all trying to build is a multiracial democracy where everyone thrives, it's going to take all of us to get there. The DC Initiative on Racial Equity and its facilitators, Deshaw and Alicia, are exemplars of such a future, and I'm so honored to introduce them.
The DC Initiative on Racial Equity in Local Government came about from a convening in 2015 where a group of nonprofits and philanthropy and government officials met to discuss racial equity. After that convening, the nonprofits and Consumer Health Foundation, which is a private foundation, wanted to stay in community with each other. And so we decided to form the DC Initiative. Consumer Health Foundation gave a stipend to Deshaw Hockett from Spaces, which is Safe Places for the Advancement of Community and Equity, to facilitate our group.
When we went to the city council and we had this incredible group of just diversity and people from different parts of the city working from that same goal to push our legislators to do the right thing and approve the bill.
It was easy for me to be one of the original members of the DC Racial Equity Coalition because Alicia and Deshaw are really committed to having longtime DC residents at the forefront of the racial equity work that's going on in DC. And furthermore, through their leadership and commitment to longtime DC residents, I was clear that the DC Racial Equity Initiative could pass legislation.
I hired her when she first started working at La Clinica, and then I worked and reported to her by the time that she left. So we've collaborated in lots of different ways. I've always thought of her as a partner. Her last board meeting was my first board meeting. She was honored by these other health center directors and the president of the board and the executive director of DCPCA. And I think that was one of my proudest moments. And one of those moments in which I really was able to see all of the strengths that her humility usually kept aside, right?
But to see that everyone had a role and that together, that the whole was greater than the sum of its parts was an amazing thing to see. And the fact that, Deshaw and Alicia are the facilitators of that. They are not necessarily the people that lead the way. Their role is to really empower the collective to do its work.
So congratulations, Alicia and Deshaw, on receiving the 2021 Heschel Vision Award. Congratulations.
I want to congratulate Alicia, Deshaw, the DC Racial Equity Initiative, and all its members for receiving the 2021 Heschel Vision Award.
Deshaw and Alicia, I want to congratulate you from the bottom of my heart for your 2021 Heschel Vision Awards. I'm very happy and very fortunate to be a part of this, and I am really looking forward to what comes next.
Hey, good people, happy Sunday to you. want to thank you for thinking enough of the work of the DC Initiative on Racial Equity to give us this award. They say that any coalition, any collective is the sum of its parts. And so we want to acknowledge the entire coordinating committee for the DC Initiative, Bread for the City, Cadescent, One DC, Empower DC, IF, the Foundation for Radical Possibility, JUFJ, and Spaces.
The DC Initiative started as a fairly simple idea to get the DC government to acknowledge that it has a role to play in ending structural racism, with a very simple idea of acknowledging that and passing a resolution. Fast forward 6 years, we have permanent legislation that is radically changing how the DC government will do its business. And we are really excited about the change that that can bring for the city. We're also really thankful for this recognition and acknowledgement of the work of all the partners that have come together to build a community of active, ongoing practitioners in the work of racial equity. It's lovely to have this recognition and really strengthens our resolve to keep this work moving forward.
Yeah. And you know, Alicia and I believe that storytelling is at the root of so much of the change work that we do in local communities. And just want to close out with a quick story. Many of you have heard us talk about this. One of the most consequential research studies of our time comes from this book titled The Long Shadow. And the short of it is that so many years ago, researchers from Johns Hopkins University followed a group of 800 young people from Baltimore City. And they followed them from first grade up through adulthood because they wanted to see how they fared in life. And long story short, what they found was that the majority of those 800 young people remain in the same social and economic situation that they were born into. And this is despite everything that nonprofits and government threw their way over that 20 plus years. And so the bottom line of the study was that we didn't move the needle. And if we are going to move the needle around issues of racial equity and generational and concentrated poverty, we have to do something radically different. And in many ways, the DC Initiative on Racial Equity is an attempt to do something that is radically different. And this award is just encouragement for us that we need to keep moving. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.